Good evening / good morning, everybody. I'm Ryan here, got alongside Joel, Michigan
Hello.
Storm Chasers here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in the western UP with this potent line of storms moving through uh, the western part of the UP as of right now. Counties included are Gogebic, Ontonagon, Iron, and southern Houghton County, as well as southwestern Baraga County. It's a pretty large warning here. And the warning is basically for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that is about it. So no hail risk with this as of right now. But looking at velocity here, we are seeing this area of heightened winds here pushing into the western UP as we speak. So big old warning in effect there from NWS in Marquette. We'll see if there's any ground truth to these severe winds that we're seeing on radar. But for right now, if you guys live immediately in Ontonagon County or Gogebic, or it's Gogebic, I believe, you guys need to be inside away from windows as the storm passes. A lot of lightning is with this storm as well. So it is definitely a noisemaker as well as likely a wind maker as this moves into Gogebic and Ontonagon counties. The warning does include southern Houghton and southwestern Baraga, as well as most of Iron County, although there's not really much of anything going on there besides this one storm that we see from Marquette's radar. So perhaps this is warned more so for wind as well. It's kind of hard to tell with the radar beam shooting up in the atmosphere a few thousand feet here. So regardless, treat it as such. That storm currently is going to be over. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Looks like going to be over the M28. I believe this is going to be M28.
Yep.
Yeah, M28. And then also US 45 here, all the way to the Houghton County, Baraga County line. And these up here are not severe, but still a lot of lightning in Baraga County near Alberta, Hermit areas. Main concern, I'm going to still say, is going to be back here to the west, entering the Ironwood area. So places up first for some severe winds, potentially Wakefield, Ironwood, along the 505 here, Austin Corners, Bessemer, Berglund, Matchwood, those general areas here. You guys are up first here for some severe winds.
It's technically night and morning at the same time because of the time zone difference.
Yep, we got to change the name of this to 619 because this is a June 19th stream.
Yep.
So we're going to update
Part 1
here. Yeah, part 1. We'll probably be live later on today. We have potentially more storms coming up later, so we'll be live for those this afternoon. So if you're tuning in here outside of the western part of the UP, taking a peek around the state, there's really nothing going on besides these storms up there. So if you're in the Lower Peninsula, sleep well tonight. You got nothing to worry about. But tomorrow, pay attention, as similar environment to today and yesterday for some microbursts will be possible, but there is nothing on radar down in the Lower Peninsula. So Flint, Grand Rapids, Lance, anywhere really. If you live in the hand of Michigan, guys are A-okay tonight, go to bed. But if you guys want to stay up with us and track these severe storms in the UP, you are more than welcome to do so. We'll be live here as long as severe is occurring. So I know we have a bigger population center here near Ironwood. Go ahead and take a little bit of a track here. Let's get a population total. This isn't going to be everybody, but it's going to be a pretty wide path here. Text the warnings moving at how many miles an hour? 40. So let's go ahead and put 40 in here for the track. So this total population, about 500 people. I think it's probably higher than that within the big old warning box here. But North Bessemer here in 19 minutes, Planter in 25, Connorville in 28, Thomaston in 28. We're going to stop there, and we'll go ahead and redo that as it gets closer. Other areas here, Bessemer, Ironwood, Marininsko. I'm going to butcher that.
Marinisco, probably.
I got it right then, I think. Berglund, Matchwood, Watersmeet. I got to take the track off that. Give me a second. Oopsies. All right. Further down here to the south and east, Iron River also included in that warning. all the way up here toward the US 141 corridor. Again, these storms out in front here don't look too bad of severe, but they did put that big old warning here, perhaps for this storm. I'm circling here on your screen. Looks like a big old blob of rain, or a bob, as Joel calls it. So,
Big old blob.
yep. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Not seeing anything on radar that suggests it's severe right now, though. But again, it's hard to tell up here in the UP just because the radar beam is pretty high off the ground. So. SPC will update at 2 a.m. for the day one outlook, so we'll see if they include Lower Michigan in a risk. I would assume they would. Surprised they didn't put one at the 1:30 p.m. update.
Josh, dudes, okay, yeah, I don't want your job now. LOL. How do you ever relax and fall asleep? We were relaxing for quite a while.
We were.
Honestly, it was kind of getting boring just waiting here.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. Like, we're always like behind the scenes watching. If we're gonna be up all night watching storms, at least, I mean, obviously don't hope for severe, but at least make them severe so we have something to do, you know?
And people to talk to.
Right.
For those who, because this stream is archived, for those who are watching live, the current time is 12:55 a.m. Eastern, 11:55 p.m. Central. So if your time doesn't match up, it means you're either watching it pre-recorded from earlier or you're slightly behind right now. So check your time, make sure you're on track.
If you're watching on YouTube as well, if you click your screen in the bottom left corner, there should be either a live symbol or a second symbol. Click that, and that'll take you to the latest of update. Is Joel having a bug in his apartment? We're going to start this early already.
Yeah.
Ember's got the bug emoji. Let's get that out. Get that using here. What's up, Alan? Yeah, if you guys are in South Michigan, Central Michigan, down there in the Lower Peninsula, there is nothing tonight. Sleep well. This is only the UP up here for tonight. There it is. There's the ladybug emoji.
I think it was like a moth or something. I don't know. It just disappeared. And for those who are just jumping in, feel free to hit that like button. It's the best way you can support the page for free.
Absolutely. Especially here at night. Only got about 150 guys on here watching us, but hey, late night crew.
Mm-hmm. Why was there no storms in Lower Peninsula today? There was a lot of morning cloud cover and a couple showers rolling through, a limited overall instability. And then we had a capping inversion that kind of took over later in the day, especially down at the surface. So similar to what we had a couple days ago.
It kind of took me off guard too, because on the morning briefing, I was looking at the mesoanalysis. There was actually a good amount of CAPE there, but as the day went on, that actually decreased instead of increased, which kind of caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. So that typically doesn't happen too often in summertime. Usually peak heating will peak your instability as well. So
alert / flood warning has been issued.
Baraga, Houghton, and Ontonagon County until 5 a.m. Flash flood warning in effect. That should be automatically posted to the page.
Yep, it just came in.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
So this technically falls under the criteria of severe weather. So now we're tracking a flash flood warning, which is important. It is severe weather as well. We'll get, once that box pops in, I think it just did. Probably click on it.
Yeah, I will here. It's actually Baraga, not Baraga.
Baraga, yeah.
Okay, I apologize. All right, that graphic is posted to the page. So this green box, you can barely make it out. Let me make it a little bit more visible for you guys. There we go. So there's your box. I guess it's still not really visible, but I'll go ahead and draw it here for you. It's going to be this box right here. It's going to be your flood warning in effect till 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. or 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Central.
Yep.
Places like Rockland, Greenland, Lance.
Lance, maybe.
Lance. My
I can
dad's
read off the
background
full
shouting at
text
me.
if you want me to.
It's Lance, according to my dad.
So it's Western Baraga, Southwestern and Eastern Okanagan till 5 a.m. At 12:56 a.m., Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 1.5 and 3 inches of rain have already fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches are expected or possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly.
Kind of backing this up here and looking at radar, we're going to see that this area has just been hit really, really hard. Check out all this rain here. This is dating back to 11 o'clock, so almost 2 hours ago. It's just been consistent, heavy, heavy rain over the exact same areas. So this whole entire frame you're looking at is about 2 hours in length. Be curious if we were to take a peek at the storm totals here. There you go.
Yeah.
About 2 to 3 inches of rain here. There's almost a 3.5 inch. Let's go ahead and take an inspector tool here around this area. Mostly 2 to 3. There are isolated pockets of 3.5 or so, with more on the way there. So that definitely is a concern for flash flooding. But outside that, the severe warning is equally as important, although flash flooding is serious. I don't think it gets enough recognition for how serious it actually is. But take it seriously if you happen to live within any of these warnings, either flash flood or severe currently, in bright green or yellow. Again, the counties included are going to be, for severe, are Gogebic, Ontonagon, Iron, Southern Houghton, and extreme southwestern Baraga. Baraga. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
Flood warning is going to be for Houghton, Baraga, as well as Ontonagon. Taking a peek at our velocities here. Now, I will say this as well. There is still a low risk for a tornado with this line, although I think the chance is really low at this point. Do want to mention that as a possibility, just because that 2% risk from SPC is still there. Have not looked at the actual shear currently up there, but SPC did keep that for a reason. So we're going to treat these storms as potentially tornadic at certain points, but again, not seeing that right now.
Yeah, we won't be tracking till 5 a.m. The flash flood warning is already issued. Once it's issued, it'll stay issued. We will track the severe weather though in terms of convection. Nice Boeing segment there for sure. That's going to be some gusty winds. You can see the apex there, pretty much heading into Ironwood. So if you're in the Ironwood area, you're going to be having some damaging winds here in probably the next 5 minutes.
Bessemer, Bergland, Marinansk. This city down here starts with an M.
Marinisco.
Let Joel pronounce everything here. I'm just going to sit back and let him take over.
There are marine warnings right now, yes. I believe Lake Superior to the north there.
Big old marine warning there. And that's going to be for wind gusts to 40 knots, it says.
No problem, Nancy. Upper Peninsula is still Michigan.
Surprisingly, some people don't know that.
Yep.
We've actually been asked a couple times covering this UP why we're covering out-of-state stuff, and I guess people don't realize UP is part of Michigan. That's happened a few times. Yes, it has.
My friend with the random knowledge of the day, Watersmeet High School, home of the Nimrods.
Goodness gracious.
Justin, you're hilarious.
What direction are these storms moving? They're moving east at about 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, no severe expected for Lower Peninsula.
Yeah, there's actually not a storm in the Lower Peninsula right now, so go to bed, guys. You are okay to sleep.
We've had a couple questions already in this stream about our full-time job. So I actually don't have a job because it's been about a month and a half now since I've finished up at CMU for the semester, and kind of just got looped into MSc and being busy with MSc. That I've been looking for jobs in the meantime, but this is kind of like a full-time job in the background, so it takes a lot of time.
Marquette continues severe warning for Baraga, Gogebic, Houghton, Iron, and Ontonagon counties until 1:30. So that warning continues.
What happened to no storms today? It was a little bit of cloud cover and the surface inversion or the capping mechanism, kind of similar to what we had a couple days ago. This time, just more cloud cover. But the possibility for instability thunderstorms still exists throughout the rest of the week.
I just want to show you guys real quick. I know we have a lot of viewers down here watching us from Lower Michigan. We're kind of watching tomorrow. Models are showing a bit better coverage. Just going to run this through really quick as a model for tomorrow. Let this load in real quick. There we go. Check those out there across the state. Those are what we're going to watch for tomorrow. So Southeast Michigan especially, but across the state, the environment is roughly the same. So models do convect these storms roughly between 4 and 10 p.m. And I'll have an update for you guys out tomorrow morning, YouTube video, as well as probably a live briefing again with the expectation of severe weather in the state. We'll get you guys up to speed tomorrow morning. Yes, Josh, we did. We hit about 2,000 subscribers in about a 36-hour period. So we jumped from like 9,005 to about 11,002. We are actually 3 subscribers away from 11,200. Mm-hmm. So if 3 of you guys watching on YouTube are not subscribed, feel free to hit that or feel free to hit the subscribe button. It is free to do so.
Will not complain if this becomes my full-time job.
Marquette is in the path of this, but it's still about an hour or 2 away. So technically, yes, Marquette, be on alert. But as far as this line immediately concerned, no, Marquette is well off to the east over here. But still, be alert. You are in a risk this evening. There are storms approaching you that are not severe currently, and they do not look severe on radar. So you'll probably get some rain, some storms first, but the main line we're watching is back off to your west, just entering the state back by Ironwood. It's a pretty thin line too, Joel.
Mm-hmm. Can you loop that real quick, maybe, when you get the chance?
Let it load in here. There we go. It's already loaded. Hey, we hit 11,201. So thank you guys. 4 of you guys hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys. Next milestone would technically be 15,000. But every 1,000 subscribers now is going to be a milestone for us. And Joel, behind the scenes, Joel has said that he is going to do a dance every time we hit 1,000 new subscribers. So every 12, 13, 14, we're going to get a dance out of Joel.
You weren't supposed to share that. No.
I'll dance with you, Joel.
Okay. I was having you loop the radar real quick while I'm still thinking about it. Because I was trying to see if there's going to be any sort of weird convergence going on there in Ontonagon County, where the storms are catching up to the storms ahead of it, but not currently. I would just keep an eye on that area. I'm going to pull my radar up here.
Hey, Joel, I'm going to pop out of here real quick.
Yep.
You know what's
I
up.
gotcha. All right. Zoom back in on radar here. Again, Iron County in Wisconsin is also on this warning. That'll probably expire here in the next 20 or 30 minutes. But this warning will be in effect for quite some time here until 1:30. It's quite the big warning for the line still being well off to the west. But I do believe it encompasses both lines of storms here. As you can see, go back and loop it. Wind-wise, this is up and elevate a little bit, but this is brighter velocity signatures. Typically, that is 66 knots at about 5,600 feet. So that is elevated quite a ways. But we are watching what's going on back here off to the west, probably the main line here in Bessemer. I feel like I'm hearing things right now. Let me pull broadcast over to the side. Use both monitors here so I can see comments and radar at the same time. Nothing lower peninsula. Yeah, it is an elongated bug. There's a bug flying in my lamp right now. It's awesome. No problem, April. It's got the outflow boundary here heading into Marquette. If you're in downtown Marquette right now, you could probably feel that breeze coming through. Showers are on the way. If the outflow boundary gets too far away, though, you might start to lose its strength from this front line of storms. Currently not in a special weather statement, though. So good summertime, nighttime thunderstorm for Marquette County at the current time, with severe quickly approaching off to your south, west, and west. But current hazard right now, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Nothing really in the way of hail. We don't see anything in the way of rotation. But that does interest me right there, just north of Bessemer. Let me check from the Duluth radar on my phone. Duluth radar says north of Bessemer is something to watch. At the very least, a pocket of damaging winds heading up towards I believe that is Porcupine Mountains area. Stretches, yeah, Porcupine Mountains area for sure. If you're in the Porcupine Mountains tonight, Lake of the Clouds, there's not much reception out there, but if you know anyone that is camping out there, this storm is on top of them here in the next minute or two, if not already. So do not delay if you know anyone that is currently camping up there, especially up outside of the Porcupine Mountains up towards White Pine as well. Because you have all these little feeder cells that are coming into them. All right, so you have this west to east moving line, of course, and then you have cells that are kind of feeding into it, heading from south to north. When you have those meet together, you can have little funky, what we call QLCS spin-ups happen. And that is definitely a possibility tonight here in extreme western UP. We have not had an EF5 tornado anywhere in the United States since 2013, and that was the Moore tornado, for those who remember that. Every other tornado in the entire United States since 2013 that day has been rated EF4 or less. There was a couple that were close. Silent and Iron River. Yeah, you guys are right there inside the warning. You have this front leading edge of storms moving through. It's kind of an interesting looking severe thunderstorm warning box. It covers a lot of Western UP, but not everyone in the Western UP is experiencing precipitation for that matter here along the US 12 or US 2 corridor. El Reno is EF3. Did not hit anything substantial. Is it breezy there in Iron River at the least? He said it wasn't, but it's a little bit of that outflow boundary that kind of extends down your way. But my thinking is they went severe because of this front line and the second line combined, so they just kind of warned the entire area. But this is a classic linear setup here. Summertime setup. We haven't seen any sort of setups like these yet this summer in West Michigan, Southern Lower. But we have a long season left. It's only June 19th. Technically, this is still spring, according to the equinoxes. It is meteorological summer if you go off that. Meteorological summer began on June 1st. Comstock Park was an EF1, high-end EF1, I believe, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, it's EF2. But I'm pretty sure it was EF1. Okay, so we just have one severe thunderstorm warning out there and a flash flood warning. Can't forget about that for Ontonagon, Baraga, and Houghton counties. That expires at 5 a.m. Rain is continuing to fall over this area. 3.5 inches already reported in some areas. So if you're driving up here in the Houghton, south of Houghton, but definitely the Ontonagon area and Lance, definitely be off the roads. Turn around, do not drown. That gust front is now passed through Marquette, or outflow boundaries, it's also called. Yeah, it has been a very, very busy week for us. Yeah, any way you can support the channel, we do appreciate it. Best way you can do it is free, and that is, of course, liking the stream. And, of course, subscribing and following us on either Facebook or YouTube, whatever platforms you follow us on. I will say following us on multiple platforms is a good way to do so, just in case one platform does go down. So having multiple ways to watch us is a good rule of thumb, I should say. Let me look, because there wasn't any convection in the Lower Peninsula at last check. And there still is not. No storms currently anywhere in the Lower Peninsula right now. So Lower Peninsula, you're in the clear. Carrie says, hello, got a weird feeling about tomorrow's storms. We expect perhaps a marginal risk gets put into place for tomorrow. But again, that won't come out for another probably 30 to 45 minutes. we'll say it's a nice, pretty color. Just kind of looping it back and forth here, almost mesmerizing. But again, if you live in this orange box, you want to be indoors for sure. We'll say go Quebec County, especially the eastern portions. You guys really don't have anything near you right now. But be alert, that line of storms is approaching quickly from the west. So if you live in the Watersmeet area, Land O'Lakes, be ready. Still coming your way. This warning will expire in the next 11 minutes. Looking at VIL, I don't really expect anything much of hail, and there really is nothing at all. CC, kind of a cross reference here, nothing. Just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Posh note. Echo tops, this will be interesting to see. So cloud tops here at the highest point, 46,000 feet, otherwise averaging around 40,000 feet or less. So good updrafts on these ones. You can see how they kind of billow up and billow down at the same time, especially here in this front line of storms. Yeah, if you have comments, questions, feel free to drop them in chat. We're just hanging out tonight. Late night crew as always. Yeah, still 77 out there, Dawn says. It is muggy out there for sure tonight. Currently, the severe risk is in place from a line west of Iron Mountain up to Marquette, but thunderstorms are still possible for Menominee County later tonight. We just expect severe to dwindle probably by the 3 to 4 o'clock time frame, so probably the next hour and a half. Storms are still far away, though, from Iron Mountain. Night owls are us. That is a great acronym, or a great slogan, I guess you could say. Gust fronts usually are indicative of what's called a shelf cloud. So that's your winds rushing out and down out of the storm, and that's indicated by a shelf cloud usually. And that's why it kind of bows down as it comes into your direction. So if you're in the Marquette area, or I guess you'd say at this point the Munising area, you probably have a nice shelf cloud being illuminated by lightning. So if you're in Munising and up at this hour, point your camera west. You never know what you might get. Every 100 new subs, we should get a squeak. YouTube subs, Julie. Also, I'm in Mount Pleasant. My chair doesn't squeak. It would have to be Ryan, and he is not here at the current time. Winds can be in front of the shelf, yeah. But usually they're in the vicinity of the shelf, so usually right below it, or just a couple, probably like a mile in front of it. No marginal out yet for tomorrow. Sorry, yeah, later today. But that update comes here in the next 40 minutes. Could be early, could be late. Yeah, warning is expected to expire here in 7 minutes. Taking a look at our velocity product once again and pausing. So it looks like the strongest wind's probably in the Porcupine Mountain region. north of Connerville. But all of this is pretty elevated. Again, the radar site is in Marquette. What you're seeing in Connerville here in western Gogebic counties is 11,000 or 12,000 feet off the ground. So you're pretty much looking up into the sky about 2 miles up, which is crazy. So whatever's happening below 2 miles in the atmosphere is just not being seen on radar, at least in Marquette. Now, I would switch it to Duluth here for you guys, but it takes 30 seconds to switch back and forth between radars. So I'm going to look at my phone, see if there's anything worth mentioning. And there is not, so it is not worth it to switch. We'll say there's a lot of heavy wind on the Duluth radar up here in the special marine warning. So that's being confirmed by the Duluth radar, which is a little bit closer. And you can kind of see it here in these blues and darker blue hues on the Lakes Superior, heading up eventually towards Houghton. But it has a long way to go. And it is questionable as to whether or not this can stay together. Let's keep it in mind. Keweenaw Peninsula area. So Houghton and Keweenaw counties. Heading up towards you guys. The rest of it's heading into Ontonagon County. I sleep when I want to sleep. Again, I don't have a job. This is my job. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm yawning. I stayed up last night and I actually turned my pillows around in bed so I could look out my window, and I fell asleep watching the thunder, or watching the lightning and hearing the thunder. It was just kind of really peaceful. But I got 6 hours of sleep last night, so not terrible. Canada's severe warnings do not expire, but they do, like radar scope overrides them. They just kind of exist. Radar scope kind of puts like a 5-hour time limit on them just to, knock them down, make sure they're not always on. Yeah, Lower Peninsula, you guys are not in any risk tonight. We are watching a severe risk that could pop up for tomorrow afternoon and evening. I will not be able to live stream tomorrow. Chandler and I are going to be at a library event in Montcalm County, Howard City area. So we'll be presenting briefly and taking questions for an hour there, and then as needed, we'll be hopping on later. But again, we have to drive back to our respective locations after that. So you'll probably be stuck with Nick, Alex, and Ryan tomorrow for severe coverage. They do have, I think they do have WSR 88Ds similar to what we have, or something byproduct there in Canada, because the radars were really good. They used to be called like X something. I remember that like 5 years ago. They were just populated everywhere, and then they upgraded. So Canada has a good radar system now, but their polygon regions are still lacking a little bit. They don't have counties per se. They have provinces, districts. It's a mess, I guess you could say. At some point, they'll probably make them storm based, but Environmental Canada has a long way to go. Next couple days worth, Chris. Instability storms is the mode. We would have had instability storms today, but instability was hindered by our cloud cover we had pretty much lingering all day. Honestly, it started in the morning. It was pretty cloudy in the morning, at least where I'm here in Isabella County, Mount Pleasant area. But tomorrow, if we can get some sunshine, instability should ramp way back up again with temperatures in the 90s. And that will be the story for the remainder of the week, Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday and Sunday as well. So instability storms capable of what we call microburst or wet downbursts, which give you really, really powerful updrafts. And what goes up must come down, and they come crashing down, and all that crashing down is not only rain, but it is also wind just pushing out in all directions from the storm base. So that's what we had yesterday down there in Southeast Michigan, as well as other locations around the state like Saginaw, even though that was not warned. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, we're just hanging out and talking. Warning has been canceled. At the current time, we do not have any warnings in effect. Well, that's a lie. We do have a flash flood warning. In terms of convectiveness, though, no severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the text on this flash flood warning reads, in effect till 5 a.m. for western Baraga, there we go, southwestern Houghton and eastern Ontonagon County. 12:56 a.m. Doppler indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rains across the warned area. Between 1.5 to 3 inches of heavy rain have already fallen. Additional amounts upwards of an inch, 1.5 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard: flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Impact: flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, roadways, and other poor drainage in low-lying areas. Will I read off all the cities and mess them up? Probably. Let's give them a try. So we have Baraga, Lance, Ontonagon, Covington, Rockland, Nisula, probably, Mass City, Kenton, Sidnaw, Alberta, Keweenaw Bay, Greenland, Bob Lake, Elston, Echo Lake, Winona, Twin Lakes, Prickett Dam, and Donkin, and then Pelkey. I'll probably mispronounce at least 3 of those, but those are all cities and unincorporated cities or towns that are located in that flash flood warning. Turn around, don't drown. When encountering flooded roads, most flooded deaths occur in vehicles. So be careful out there. Again, a lot of it is off the ground right now. Again, the thunderstorm warning was canceled. Nothing's verifying right now. So at this point, it's just a line of thunderstorms. I don't know when Ryan's supposed to get back, but I'm almost tempted to cut it here soon. This is still a huge line of storms. And if you're in the Western UP tonight, you want to be on the lookout for these, mainly in the threat of flash flooding. I'm surprised they didn't reissue the warning because there's still some blues here. And again, that's 10,000 feet off the ground. Sorry, 11,000 feet off the ground. We do have a new special marine warning, though. Offshore, Saxon Harbor to Port Canal and to Ontonagon. So this is until 2:15. So that's this new blue box that just popped in here. And that's all that heavy winds right there moving towards Ontonagon County and Houghton County. So keep an eye on this bunch right here. That's quite a blob. So that looks to be severe at the current time. And I'm seeing that on the Duluth radar behind the scenes here. It's just a huge pocket of elevated winds. And if any of that mixes to the ground, it could cause issues for the Keweenaw Peninsula area. Not really, Chris. Should just be microbursts. And again, microbursts are damaging. They took out 2 entire barns yesterday in Lenawee County. Again, damaging winds can cause more damage than a weak tornado. We like to say that all the time here at MSC. What else we got here? All right, Melinda, if you're heading out, feel free to hit that like button. I guess if anyone's heading out, feel free to hit that like button on the way out. Best way you can support our channel. Like a broken record. I'm sorry. Again, I'm definitely watching this kind of right turn, this 90-degree turn here in Ontonagon, where these two lines kind of converge on each other. Funky things can happen there. So we'll watch that. And again, you can see those heavy winds coming in, where you see the blues on radar here, the lighter and even darker blues, where it could be up closer to 60, 70 miles per hour. But again, that is elevated off the surface at about 10,000 feet off the ground. So that's still very far up. So ground truth is important. If you have any damaging winds to report, any trees down, power lines down, obviously stay 25 feet away from any down power lines. But feel free to report that to the National Weather Service Marquette. You can find them on Twitter at NWS Marquette. And speaking of Twitter, we are on Twitter, or X as it's called. It's at MI Storm Chasers. And that's one way you can receive warnings there. Let's see the fluidity of that gust front there on velocity. Pushes through and over towards Munising. Again, probably shelf cloud, really nice shelf cloud moving into Munising at this time. So if you're in the Munising area, maybe point your camera outdoors. Maybe you see something in the lightning. But yeah, think, man, it's close because I know as soon as this stuff heads onshore, it's going to go warm. So I'm not going to say anything, but yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it radar only. You guys are free to hang out and talk behind the scenes. Or at least I'm gonna take my face off the screen because right now I'm just kind of looking around. But yeah, here you go. Take it full screen for you guys. So again, this is your velocity radar. So greens are inbound winds towards the radar site, reds are outbound. And that lime green box is a flash flood warning. The more of a jade green box is your flood advisory. That's still in effect, but the flash flood warning kind of overlaps that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll leave this looped. I'll double box it for you guys so you can see rain and wind at the same time where it's associated. And then I will jump back in if it's severe, and if it's not looking like it's gonna be severe, then we'll go ahead and end it. But for right now, I'm gonna be on standby. What is the red and orange color? So on the left side, I'm guessing is what you mean. That's your base reflectivity. And that's just the intensity of rain that's falling in the area. So reds is heavier rain, greens, blues, lighter rain. If you're looking on the right radar, that would be heavier winds, and that's outbound winds. So, all right. I will be behind the scenes watching radar closely. Feel free to drop a like and chat if you're heading on your way out and feel like you're going to bed tonight. We do appreciate it. And as always, feel free to hit the follow button or subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. It's the best way you can support us here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Other than that, we'll be back as needed. Thank you for watching so far. Thanks. All right, everyone, I'm back. Wake up, everyone. I'm just kidding. We got 30 of you in here right now. Hit a like if you're part of the late night crew, but it looks like this storm is on its way out. However, it is heading into Marquette, so I want to jump in here really quick and give a brief overview of this. In terms of damaging winds, which would have been the main threat, there's not much here except for a gust front. I'm seeing about 50 knots at the most. Let me just double check to make sure there's no warnings, and there is not. Sometimes I like to miss it. We did add a flash flood warning since we last updated you guys, and this is in effect until 6 a.m. This is in effect for southeastern Barrega and northwestern Marquette County and north central upper Michigan. At 2:26, the operator indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain have already fallen, similar to what we saw in the flash flood warning upstream there in Houghton, Ontonagon County as well. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 1.5 inches are possible in the warned area throughout the rest of the night. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Again, this is radar indicated. Hazard flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Small creeks, streams, urban areas, roadways, other poor drainage, and low-lying areas will be flash flooded. This includes Michigami, Champion, Three Lakes, Lake Michigami, US 141 between Covington and Amasa, Craig Lake State Park, Mount Arvin, Island Lake, Van Riper State Park, Herman, Ned Lake, King Lake, and Silver Lake Basin. Again, turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flooded deaths occur in vehicles. But those are the only two warnings we have out there right now that are, well, warnings, and we don't have anything in the way of severe. As you can see, it's just this one lone cell. The current time, there looks like there's some pinks in there now, but there's not much in the way of hail. CC seems to think that is the case. There's not much in the way of hail. That's clear air up here. Base reflectivity. It's probably picking up some dust a little bit if I had to guess. But yeah. Morning, Kelly. Again, for those who are tuning in, this is the Upper Peninsula. For the few that are up. But yeah, with that being said, since there's no severe, and this looks like kind of a general thunderstorm at this point, we are going to go ahead and hop off. Tough to tell whether or not we're going to go live again because a lot of us are tired here. I know Ryan's, I think, almost asleep at this point. But yeah, I'm tired as well. If a warning does pop up, obviously they will be posted automatically to our page here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Again, you can follow us on Facebook if you haven't, and Twitter or X. That account name is at MI Storm Chasers. Other than that, we are here on YouTube, of course, simultaneously live streaming, and we always will simultaneously live stream as long as we can. Again, MI Storm Chasers is the YouTube tag. Feel free to subscribe. It is free. The best way to support the channel, besides liking our content, is to subscribe and follow us on our pages. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off for the night, get some sleep. Got a marginal risk coming for southeastern Michigan today for downburst winds, kind of similar to what we had on Sunday. And so we'll be tracking those later this evening. Ryan, Alex, and Nick will be live with that, as me and Chandler will be out at the Howard City Library tonight doing a presentation for what we're all about here at Michigan Storm Chasers. No problem, Adam. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a good night, everyone. Sleep well, stay cool, and we'll see you in the next live stream.